guys, welcome back to another YouTube video by SMARTPATHTUTORING. This video is on an inspector calls, specifically on the generational divide. The big idea. Priestley sets the play in 1912 but writes it for a 1945 audience. He uses the older generation to represent the people who caused 2 world wars through their selfishness, and the younger generation to represent the hope for a socialist future, the birth of the welfare state. The older generation, i.e. Arthur and Sybil, they are static. They refuse to learn. Their primary concern is reputation over reality. The younger generation, i.e. Sheila and Eric, they are dynamic. They are impressionable. They move from ignorance to atonement. Key quotes and grade 9 analysis. The famous younger generation, Act 3. The famous younger generation who know it all, and they can't even take a joke, by Arthur Birling. The analysis of this quote is that Birling uses sarcasm to dismiss his children's moral awakening. By calling their guilt a joke, he reveals his total lack of a moral compass. Grade 9 link. This is the height of Birling's hubris. He is laughing just seconds before the final phone call rings. Priestley uses this to show that the older generation's arrogance is what makes them dangerous. The impressionable youth, Act 2. We often do on the young ones. They're more impressionable. Inspector Goole. The analysis. The inspector recognizes that Sheila and Eric are the only ones capable of change. The adjective impressionable suggests that their minds are like wet clay. The inspector can mold them into socialists before the kiln of capitalist society hardens them. The reversal of power, Act 3. It's you two who are being childish, trying not to face the facts, by Sheila. The analysis of this quote is that Sheila subverts the parent-child dynamic. She uses the adjective childish to describe her parents, flipping their own insults back at them. The grade 9 link is that this represents a paradigm shift. In the old world, children were to be seen and not heard. In Priestley's new world, the youth must take the moral lead because the elders have failed. Gerald Croft, the outlier. To get top marks, you must discuss Gerald separately. He is young in age, but old in his soul. He is the man in the middle. He is the one who finds the loophole. That Goo isn't a real cop. The analysis is that Gerald chooses to align with the older generation because he has the most to gain from the status quo. He represents the danger that the upper class, regardless of age, will always choose their own privilege over responsibility. Grade 9 interpretation paragraph. The cycle of time. Priestley utilizes the generational divide as a structural metaphor for Britain's political evolution, while Arthur and Sybil Birling function as static archetypes of Edwardian complacency. Sheila and Eric undergo a radical metamorphosis, transitioning from gilded ignorance to a visceral acceptance of the millions of Eva Smiths. The conflict reaches its zenith in Act 3, where the parents' obsession with legal innocence is juxtaposed against the children's obsession with moral guilt. By characterizing the older generation as blind and idiotic through the use of dramatic irony, Priestley warns his 1945 audience that the old guard cannot be trusted to build the post-war world. The play's cyclical structure, ending with a second phone call, suggests that while the younger generation has learned the lesson, the parents' refusal to change will force the entire family to repeat the nightmare of fire and blood. Revision summary. The characters. Mr. Birling's response to the inspector is anger and defense of reputation. The symbolic meaning of the failure of capitalism. Mrs. Birling is denial and class pride. Her symbolic meaning is the failure of the aristocracy. The character of Sheila, response to the inspector, is guilt and radical change. The symbolic meaning of this is the hope of the suffragette and socialist movement. The character of Eric is remorse and self-loathing. Symbolic meaning of this is the hidden guilt of the middle class. The character of Gerald, response to the inspector, is logic, avoiding scandal. The symbolic meaning of this is the persistence of the status quo. And that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed.